I'm at the river. Jack Ingram's helping me in 84 because he wants to beat Bob Pressley because they're big rivals. So I followed Daddy one night. I'd probably only won 1 or 2 races. And, you know, you couldn't pass Bob Pressley. I mean, he was good. So after the race, he walks back there and grabs me by the collar.
Who?
My dad.
Yeah.
And he said, listen, little, you're never going to make it if you don't learn how to race. Dad, I'd had to wreck you. It don't matter. You got to learn how to race. Next week, I wrecked him. He come and got me out of the car. Let me tell you something, you know, don't ever touch my race car again. Well, you told me. He said, I don't care who it is. You got to learn. Nobody's on that racetrack but you. So, you know, I had to survive. I had to race, you know. I had to do what it took to get that money for first, or I wasn't going to be back the next week. So when you wreck your daddy, but your daddy's hated by the Jack Ingram fan, so now all Daddy's fans hate me. All Jack's fans hate me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand the relationship that you and your dad had.
Great. I mean, I love my dad so much.
Yeah, but when you mention him, you call him by name, Bob Pressley.
Rapid Robert.
Right? And y'all raced each other like he was just another competitor. And, you know, I mean, I raced Daddy. We ran into each other a couple of times, or I ran into him, or he, you know, things didn't go well on the racetrack with us, but he's still Daddy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all's relationship was a lot more mature, I guess.
Oh, it was. Daddy, Charlie raced my older brother and struggled, but he was so smart working on a race car. Then my brother Mike raced. Then my little brother raced, and I didn't race. My sister married Tony Warren that raced. So I'm the middle child, and I wasn't racing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I decided I wanted to race. And Daddy seen that I had potential, and he never helped none of the other ones. He told them this is not a way to make a living. So Daddy kind of took me under his wing of saying, if you're going to do it, it's a tough business. You're going to have to fight your way out of places. You're going to have to make enough money to go week to week to week, you know. And he said, and if you don't win, you can't do none of that. So he taught me, but he was the hardest one on me when I'd done something wrong, and that's why he wanted to drive my bus in 95.
So he could stay on your ass?
Exactly. And I mean, you know, he would tell everybody how proud he was of me except me.
Sure. Oh, right. I know
he
all that
never,
too.
You know how that
yeah.
is. And I mean, and people say, God, your dad's so proud of you. Well, I wish every once in a while he'd pat me on the back or something.
Did he ever wreck you?
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, he's grabbing you by the shirt because you wrecked him, but he's also wrecked you.
Yeah. We went through a year of 1988 that me and him was worse rivals than him and Jack was.
Ooh.
And Coleman, and that's one of the reasons why I quit racing and wanted to go do the bush.
To get out of that situation.
Because Coleman was born in October of 88, and Daddy didn't see him until Christmas Day. Daddy would come. Daddy had a picture of him he carried in his wallet. And Christmas Eve, about 2:30, he come up and put some Christmas presents on the porch for Coleman. That's how hard-headed both of us was. We wouldn't. Neither one of us was going to give.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, we was not going to give.
Now I understand the relationship. So, y'all weren't talking. Y'all weren't seeing each other. Y'all weren't going near each other. Where during the week, right? You go race on the weekend. During the week, where are you at?
There's this little restaurant called the Mountain View Restaurant, and Daddy eat there. Jack Ingram would eat, and I was working for Coca-Cola. So
what were you doing?
Route driver.
Gotcha.
So I'd stop the truck because Jack was helping. Jack loved this.
I'm sure he did.
Bob and his son can't even get along together. So Jack, I'd walk in, hey, come on back here, Robert, sit with me. And that just made the hair crawl on Daddy's neck. You know?
Oh, I bet.
So-
Jack Ingram.
So y'all
instigating.
y'all went a majority of that season without
Yeah,
having a traditional father and
No.
son relationship.
yeah.
Y'all never was there ever moments at the racetrack where things seemed to get warmer?
The two instances that was the funniest during that year was my cousin, which was my daddy's nephew. He was a big Bob Pressley fan, but he helped me because Daddy didn't want no help. Daddy done it all himself. And then I had this other boy named Thomas Holbert. And I wrecked Daddy one Friday night, won the race. Daddy backs his truck up in my garage and looks at us all, don't say a word, and holds it wide open and smokes the whole shop up like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Really?
Just sits there and power brakes, cuts a little hole that's still in that floor, the Bob Pressley hole, like a burnout at the racetrack.
Yeah.
And he gets out in the fog of the smoke, and he says, I'm going to whoop every one of y'all's ass. And my cousin said, hey, Bob, I'm on your side. And the other one leaves, and I said, Daddy, you know, he said, you ever touch my race car again? I don't care what your mama says. I'll get you.
What was your mama saying throughout all of that?
Well, they had just separated, so you know whose side she's on.
Holy crap. This is a Springer episode all of a sudden.
Yeah. But, I mean, it was so fun of what we done together.
Yeah.
You know, it made us, we are a very close family. My dad and me was.
Now, hold up a second. Now, this
Is
I'm
a
trying
year.
to connect dots. Now, what was the year that Jack Ingram, is this the same cousin that Jack Ingram wrecked?
Yeah.
Under caution?
No.
No, different
No.
cousin.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And what year was that, though, that incident?
That's 86, I guess.
Okay, so that had
85,
already
86.
happened.
Yeah.
Wow, you Asheville racers are crazy.
No.
I'm telling you, the family, I mean, like, it is.
Well, the what was happening at Asheville was crazy, but it was also happening at Greenville Picking. It was also happening at Hickory.
And a Hickory.
Like I was talking in the Ask Junior, I mean, all across the country at these short tracks are these type of things happening at all these little rivalries, or they used to.
Yeah.
You know, when I was racing at the beach, there was pretty good rivalries going on there.
I mean, the Bob Pressley Jack Ingram rival is probably like the Duke Carolina basketball game. But you can't take away from the Sonny Hutchins and Tommy Ellis rival in Virginia at that time.
Right.
I mean, so that's what I loved about short track. And I was proud that me and my dad had a rival, but it was never like that. I know one night this guy kept telling me he was going to wreck me all week. I'm going to wreck you, Robert. I'm going to wreck you. So he started in front of me because he inverted the field. And we go off into one, and I turn him. Because, see, Jack was my mentor. And, you know, Jack, he said, Robert, you know how you solve that problem? And I said, how? Wreck them first. And that way, you're always on top. So we're sitting on the starting line, and I said, I'm going to wreck. I had that in my head. I'm going to wreck him. We go off in one, I turn him. I'm the only one that makes it through. I come back around, and the whole field, you know how narrow actually is. The whole field is piled up over there. So they stopped me on the back straightaway because they're running the ambulance, and everybody runs out there. And all of a sudden, I see this guy that owns 2 race cars that are destroyed coming after me. Whoo, this ain't going to be good. You know, I'm gonna get my head knocked in.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, now me and Daddy ain't talking. My daddy grabs that man and says, you're going to go through me. You know, my dad was in the wreck too. So you see the deal there? He can talk about me, but nobody else is going to do that.
I understand, yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Nothing like a fight to bring a family
And
together.
the guy looked at me, got in the window. He said, Bob, I ain't going to do nothing. He said, Robert, did you do that intentionally? And I said, yeah. I said, he said he was going to wreck me, so I figured I'd just get him first. Okay. So next week, he told that guy, he said, if you don't wreck Robert, you're fired. And a couple of weeks, he got fired after that because
They couldn't get you.
he didn't want to. I mean, you didn't want, even though Daddy was not on my side, he didn't
I
want to mess.
understand.
You know, you
Okay.
didn't mess with Bob Presley in Asheville. I mean,
Wow. Okay. So you, this is so fascinating. So you have a survivalist mentality as a racer. It's cultivated at Asheville and Greenville and all these places, and now you're back into NASCAR and you're winning in the then Busch, now Xfinity Series, right? And do you have the same survivalist mentality? Because I guess I'm wondering how much now was this ever even part of your aspirations to begin with, to be going Busch racing or Cup racing, and did it require a survivalist mentality?
Pearson come on and took my daddy role over. Is Robert, you ain't got no friends here, you know. It's me and you against the field.
So Pearson plays that role.
If Pearson seen me talking to another driver, hey, come on over here. You don't let them get in your head.
Yeah.
You know, and you know what to do. You know how to do this. And we had a great 3-year relationship. It was most fun. I never wanted to go Cup race. I was ready to stay at Alliance for a lifetime.
Yeah.
A lifetime. But started winning races, and Leo Jackson calls me, and he said, I want you to drive the Cup car, 33 Skull car. What about Harry? He's going to retire. I said, when? We don't know, but we want to sign you now. And that was in 93. I said, well, what I do? And they said, whatever you want to do until Harry. I said, that could be 99. This man's going to keep racing forever. Well, we want you. So then my owner at Alliance found out about it and fired me with 5 races to go in 93. Said, if you don't want to drive for me. I said, well, I ain't going nowhere. I'll be here. You know, we said we had another 2-year plan. I'm good, you know. He said, nope, if you went behind my back, you're fired. So went to Skull. Me and Rick Mass was not really getting along good because I turned him at Martinsville on the first lap. Well, he's on the front row.
Do you detect the trend that we're detecting? There's a trend, you know.
I wasn't that bad, you know. And so what happens, I'm fired on a Thursday, going to be at Martinsville on Friday. And Johnny Hayes calls and says, you're driving Rick Mass' Busch car. I said, I don't think so, because me and Rick had trouble in March. I don't think he's forgot yet.
Right.
Well, Johnny had more power than Rick.
Okay.
So I drove his car at Martinsville and Hickory and a couple other places. So.
And finish the season.
Yeah. So
And
we was like ready to win the championship. And with 5 races to go.
pulled the plug.
So, and it's like Ricky Pearson always told me, Robert, never worry about a championship or you're not a racer. I want to win 100 races and no championships.
Really?
And that's the way I was. I didn't really care about championships. I'd go race wherever I could to win races. Come to Concord one night, was real funny in my late model car. And I had this Monte Carlo, the ugliest race car you ever seen in your life. Ugly. But it was one of the body was so narrow, tires stuck out this far. Ernie Irvin, Bobby Labonte's racing there, and the rule was 2-barrel carburetor. Well, I had a 2-barrel that was pretty big. And went down there and just killed them Camaros in this old box car, Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
They wanted to throw me out, and I said, y'all said a 2-barrel. Y'all didn't say what size. You know?
All right, guys, I know a little bit about cars, so believe me when I tell you that Tire Pros, they're the real deal. They've got great people, great service, and they can take care of all your automotive maintenance needs. Plus, they're a sponsor of this show, so you know they got great taste in podcasts. So check out Tire Pros. Follow them on Facebook and tell them that I sent you.